Joe Rogan made some comments about video games on his last podcast, basically saying if you play video games, it'll lead to nothing. I think he was more talking generally and not about people starting like a Twitch channel, but he didn't specify that, and he spoke very generally, and this set the video game world on fire and actually got Rogan trending. And Ninja, the biggest video gamer on Earth, has personally responded with a video. So here's Ninja's response. He tweeted out, Joe Rogan Gaming comment thoughts video. Mine was kind of everywhere, but wanted to get a little bit out to explain it sooner rather than later. Also enjoy the full emo hair Ninja right now. So here's the video.
Typically, I don't want to put words in his mouth. I saw the most recent clip going on about Joe Rogan, his comment about video games or like gamers, and I think where he was coming from, or what he was talking about specifically, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but when I watched the whole thing and tried to get context of it, I watched, before and after the clip that was just, being posted on or on Twitter. It sounds like he's talking about like the top 1%, like the very odd or one-off chance that you're going to be a professional player, an esports player, and a successful one at that, right? I mean, you can be a professional esports player and, be on like a tier 2, tier 3 org, which is not maybe paying you the most. And obviously if you're not winning and being paid a lot, you're not a big streamer, then you're not really making a lot of money. So I'm assuming he's just basically talking about, the top 1%, you're winning every tournament, you're on a top organization, you're making a shitload of money, you're successful. And I mean, he talks about how, gaming can potentially not really get you anywhere, right? You're putting a lot of time into it and you're just mindlessly playing video games. I just don't think what Joe doesn't really understand then the full context of what the gaming community is and how many different avenues you can be successful in gaming. I mean, there's streaming, just content creation, YouTube, being a professional player, being a freaking coach. I mean, you can be incredibly understanding of a game but not have the physical capacity to be able to, get pentakills every single round and, every single game. But that doesn't mean that, there's not a job for you, right? That doesn't mean there's not a place for you in the gaming community where you can be successful, especially when, coaches are being valued more and more in the gaming community now, which is a beautiful thing to see because coaches have been in sports forever. So, I mean, I'd love to go on and talk about it more, but I think that if you guys are in the gaming scene, we all know there are so many different ways you can be successful. There's so many different ways that you can make a living out of it. So keep gaming, continue to educate yourselves, and love you guys. And also would love to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. Talk more about it.
So that was Ninja's response. Like I said, Joe Rogan talked very broadly. He wasn't very specific, and I don't know if he was addressing that aspect. I mean, the example he made was jiu-jitsu, saying if you learn jiu-jitsu, then 3 years later, you can start a jiu-jitsu school. So that was the video gamers' response. Like I said, this blew up. They were all talking about it, and the biggest guy addressed Joe Rogan. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you agree with Joe Rogan or not.